I was very skeptical about getting ultrasounds, which turns out to be a very good thing in our case, but then also a very bad thing in our case.
We both knew that we did not want to do any early ultrasounds, but we were debating on the 20-week.
Yes, it was a moment. We had a huge argument. We didn't really, but we were trying to figure out what we were going to do.
I did feel more comfortable doing it, knowing that really the ultimate goal for me would be to have basically an unassisted birth, but as minimally assisted, I guess we could say.
Minimally assisted. There would be a midwife here, but it would mainly just be us, me and Sarah, and then when we needed help, then
they would be available.
They would be here at the house. That was the plan. So we got an ultrasound to,
just make sure we knew what we were heading into.
Yeah. And so we found out that if the baby was a boy or a girl. What do you guys think? Do you think the baby's a boy or a girl?
Pause and
go. Don't do that. That's ridiculous because they're going to know in 2 seconds. We're having...
Wait.
Never mind. We're not telling you now.
Why would you give the big news in the middle?
Oh, okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Give the big news at the end of the video.
Sarah had done a little bit of research on ultrasounds before she got pregnant.
It's been quite a while ago, so some people have asked me for that research, and it's been several years. So I knew what I wanted. I don't remember.
But we've seen some patterns that if you have an early ultrasound, that it seems like there's a higher risk of having a miscarriage. So being, new parents, it was like, well, if I'm seeing a pattern at all, I don't really want to do that.
Feel like there was any benefit for us to do early.
Yeah.
So even though the risk is small, we didn't feel like there was any benefit to it. So we decided we were not going to do that.
Yeah, but we did
decide on the 20-week because I felt that the benefits outweighed any risk.
So we could go in and just see, like, okay, if we are doing an at-home birth, what's the situation? Like, is there something that we need to be prepared for where we shouldn't do that? Blah, blah, blah. Anything we need to be aware of. That was our thinking. We were doing an ultrasound so that we could go down the more natural route of an at-home birth.
And it turned out that we just happened to make the exact perfect decision for the situation that we're now in.
Yeah.
So basically what happened is we got the ultrasound, and everything was looking really good until she was like, oh, let's take a look at your placenta. And I kind of knew immediately that I was like, I think something's not right, because that's not where she should be looking for that. Yeah. And so they're not allowed to say anything.
I asked her afterwards. I was like, hey, how did everything look? And she was like, I'm not allowed to say anything. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah, so on the way home, I was telling Jordan kind of what I suspected. Like, hey, this is maybe something that could be a possibility, but don't worry, because I also know that like 90% of the time, if you have a low-laying placenta, that it resolves itself. And so I was like, it's no big deal, but like worst case scenario, if it's this, it could potentially be life-threatening if we didn't know about it. And so
so Sarah picked up on that during the ultrasound, and I didn't. I don't know much about placentas and stuff like that. Hey, I'm editing the video that you're watching right now, but I wanted to say a real quick, huge thank you to the greatest sponsor of all time, Helix. Helix has supported me for 4 years now, and when you support them, you are directly supporting me and my growing family. Helix is a premium mattress-in-a-box company that makes mattresses and bedding that are customized to fit your unique needs, conveniently shipped right to your door. And unlike other brands, Helix mattresses do not contain any fiberglass, which can be very harmful to your health. The Helix lineup offers 20 unique mattresses, including their award-winning Luxe and Ultra Premium Elite collections, the Helix Plus, a mattress designed for big and tall sleepers, and the one I'm very interested in right now, the Helix Kids mattress, designed for growing bodies and endorsed by child sleep and medical experts. The Helix Kids mattress is so awesome because it's designed so that given different ages of the child, you can flip the mattress to fit their unique needs during that age. It's genius, and I'm very excited to be getting one for my child in the future. Everybody's different, and Helix knows that, so they developed a sleep quiz that matches your unique body type, and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Sarah and I could not agree on which mattress we wanted to get, because I am a stomach sleeper and she is a side sleeper. We both like slightly different firmnesses of mattresses. So we took their sleep quiz together as a couple, and we were matched with the Helix Sunset Luxe mattress, and it has truly changed our lives. The best part about all of this is that Helix delivers your mattress right to your door, and in the US, it's even free delivery. It just comes rolled up in a box and is super easy and fun to set it up yourself. If it makes you nervous to buy something online, that you haven't really tried yet, honestly, that's how I am too, there's no need to worry because Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so that's more than 3 months to make sure that you absolutely love it. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so the perfect night's sleep is literally available for everyone. I love my Helix mattress, and I really think that you would too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix. You can click the link down below or go to helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor for 20% off your mattress plus 2 free dream pillows. That's helixsleep.com/Jordan Taylor. Please check it out. Now, back to editing.
It's not anything that you you did something wrong so that it caused it, or that you can do something right to prevent it. It's simply just something that happens.
Yeah.
And we just happen to be
one
in 200.
So
but when we got home, the midwife was like, "Hey, can we chat?" And so I kind of suspected what the conversation was going to be like. But I was, again, feeling really positive. I told him, I was like, no big deal. This is probably something that's gonna, have a 90% chance of resolving. But it turned out to be, the conversation was a little bit not that.
Sarah was kind of trying to be a little bit more positive, maybe if the placenta isn't, completely over where the baby is going to come out, because the risk is that the placenta is birthed first and then the baby is birthed after, which doesn't work. It has to be the other way around. It has to be the baby coming out first and then the placenta, or else bad things happen. And so if that happens, you have to go the C-section route if the baby is
So I was
not
kind of
gonna come out first.
asking my midwife questions, where is this, and what are the odds? And she was like, no, you have what we believe is a full placenta praevia, and so it's kind of the worst case scenario at this point. It could still resolve, but she was like, you really need to take it seriously that this might not change, and that it's going to require a scheduled C-section. Mm-hmm. So that was a little bit of a conversation.
So that was pretty rough to hear that, because we really don't want to do the hospital route.
It was just kind of this is the opposite of everything that I had in mind.
Yeah.
And she's like, so take a week and take it in, but then we need to start looking for an OB, and there's also more risks now. Everything looks okay now, but because of where your placenta is, it limits blood flow, and so this could cause problems with growth.
But the baby is very normal, very average across the board with growth and height or length or whatever. But for anybody confused like I was, you think, well, how could this resolve itself? If the placenta is over where the baby comes out, how does that get better? Well, the uterus is growing like a balloon. So if you think about it, if the placenta is here and the uterus is growing, it kind of pulls it out of the way as it's, if it's completely covered, then it's going to move, of course, but not that much. If it's covered, if the area is covered a little bit, then it could move that much, and then everything would be fine.
And so really the hard part right now is that we just don't know what's going to happen. It could even get to almost full term and suddenly be resolved. But because we just don't know, we kind of have to prepare for a lot more very real scenarios, just in case. So I think we're still, I'm pretty positive, I'm feeling positive about that it will potentially resolve, and that we'll get to have the birth that we want. And
we're not positive, but we're hopeful, we're trusting that it will correct or resolve itself. And there's no use in worrying about, people have C-sections and everyone's like, oh, it's just no big deal. But it's well, Sarah's already been through surgery, as you guys know, for endometriosis. gonna have to do that again, go through another surgery and
C-sections are not no big deal. Like, I think people sometimes think it's the easier form of birth, and you don't have to go through labor, but the recovery is no joke.
So yeah, we really don't want Sarah to have to go through that again. And if the baby is enjoying life in there, then knock yourself out. Like, stay in there for a while if that's the best thing. If that's what the baby's thinking. I don't want to take the baby out prematurely if it wants to stay there.
So right now we're basically just making multiple plan A's is kind of how I am thinking about it. Like,
there's not a plan B. There's two plan A's.
Like before it would have been like we were preparing for what would we do in a potential emergency situation, and now it's kind of like we're not giving up on our original plan, but we have to kind of focus more to make alternate plans that are equally important.
Right. Which is good because, you never know what's going to happen. So it's good that we have contacts with people who are like-minded with us, and we're not just in an emergency situation and have to do a C-section and it's like, okay, who are you? We just get thrown in with anybody, and so we really don't want to be in that situation. So
we were feeling a little sad about it, but I think we've changed our thinking and we're feeling like there could be a silver lining to it.
Yeah. I'm just trusting that it will get resolved. That's the trust. And
the good news is there's nothing really wrong other than that the placenta is just in the wrong place.
Yeah, exactly. Which is great. And if the placenta's in the wrong place, they were saying that the umbilical cord could be in the wrong place too, but everything seemed great with where everything was placed.
And so it's kind of best case scenario for a bad scenario.
Yeah.
And leading up to the ultrasound, which I think this is very normal. A lot of women have told me that this is what they go through. But I was having all of these nightmares of like finding out that the baby had no legs or no nose and things like that. So we got to see that there's a whole baby with both legs, a nose, hands.
But we also forgot to say why it was really good that we didn't do an early ultrasound, instinctively. We didn't want to do that route. Was because if the placenta is located in the spot that it is, that it's a lot more dangerous percentage-wise of rupturing the placenta and then having a miscarriage.
When they do the early ultrasound. So my midwife was like, it was a really good thing that you declined those because it actually could have led to something much, much worse. So she was like, you made pretty much the perfect decision.
Yeah, so thank you, God. Literally. I mean... Yeah. That's called gut instincts. God gave them, in a little research, God gave us both those for a reason. When we were doing the ultrasound, the baby just gave us a thumbs up. Like, just for the longest time.
Like, I'm doing fine in here.
I'm doing okay. You're going to get some kind of weird, bad news, but I'm doing okay. That was
kind of the joke about the thumbs up picture.
I'm literally taking it as that.
This is very cute.
That is what's giving me hope. Yeah, it's so cute. And then he, of course, promptly, I said he. So we're having a boy. That's okay to say.
It's a boy.
I was really struggling with the pronoun situation, so I didn't want to say it. So I'm just saying the baby, and that's getting repetitive. So we're going with he. So he promptly put his thumb in his mouth, which was adorable. I got to see him hiccup. And then he was sleeping like me, just weirdly.
Yeah.
Why do I sleep so weirdly? So like father, like son, he was sleeping with his hand over his head, just like this the entire time.
Thumb in mouth, hand on head.
And that's exactly how I sleep every night. Amazing. So what else? I mean, what else do we say? Why are we being so weird? So
there's the news. Feeling good about it, but just definitely something unexpected. Potentially not amazing, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. So we're just, we're trusting God, our Heavenly Father, that everything will be fine. Either way, that it will be fine. But hopefully it goes the other way, the way that we would like it to go. But
we're also just glad that we know. And I feel like sometimes I feel like there's two sides of the coin though, because it's like, well, if you didn't know and then it resolves, what's the point in finding out? But honestly, I would rather know and be able to prepare for that, even if it turns out fine, than to be in a potentially life-threatening situation and not know what's going on.
Yeah, because when we got out of the ultrasound, I said, that was cool to see, but I don't really think I want to do that again.
And I was like, Jordan, there was something that I noticed.
Yeah, and then she said that, and I was like, oh, that's why this could be important.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be in the cycle of ultrasounds constantly, like...
Hopefully not constantly, but there will definitely, this was going to be our only ultrasound,
yeah.
And there's definitely going to be more monitoring.
We need to get more imaging of where the placenta actually is, and so we can have a more informed decision, or, you know, because right now, it was a tech, you know, who was doing this, so now we're actually going to have, like, an OB in there with us who, like, knows a lot more, and so is able to give us
evaluate
more info. Why is he way over there? We will update you guys on how everything is going, and we're so excited. I mean, I'm just so excited. So we'll let you guys know how everything shakes out in the coming months. Okay, we'll see ya.